phosphorylation. So you have here cellular. Now, has this formula. You have, of course, glucose. These are the raw materials plus oxygen, and this will give you. So we will compute how many ATPs will be generated. ATPs plus carbon dioxide plus water. So these are the raw materials for cellular respiration, glucose and oxygen, and we have the end products, energy or ATP in the form of ATP, carbon dioxide, and water. These are the end products. Okay? So we have these steps. I mentioned last time we have glycolysis, which occurs in the fluid part of the cell called the cytosol. Then we have the Krebs cycle, which occurs in the matrix. And then we have the electron transfer chain. Uy, asa man ito inyong kuan? Assignment.
Napasa na lang.
Napasa na?
Napasa na lang.
This occurs in the state. Was na submitted yet the assignment? Submit na? Sit work? Ano? Okay. So, now glycolysis, now each of these steps, class, involve several enzymes. So, kada step na siya enzyme. So, there are specific enzymes which participate in each of the chemical reaction. Okay. So, we have the overall picture of glycolysis, of which the glucose, this is the summary. This requires 2 ATP to start with, and as a result, this releases 4 ATP molecules, and then plus, of course, you have 2 molecules of pyruvate and 2 molecules of NADH. Okay. So we will know later why there are, or where they, what's the origin of these 2 ATP molecules, and then how it releases 4 ATP molecules, and how it formed 2 molecules of pyruvate and the 2 NADH. Okay? So we will start here. Now, glucose is phosphorylated. Now, it becomes, so this enzyme that participates in the phosphorylation of glucose is the hexokinases or glucokinases. Glucokinase. Now, during the process, so what donates this phosphate here? Now, the phosphate is donated on the 6th carbon. Say if this is our glucose, CH2OH. Now, this is the first carbon, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So this is where your phosphate is attached. Are you with me? That's why this becomes glucose 6-phosphate. Meaning there is addition of phosphate of on the glucose on the 6th carbon of glucose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you with me? So there is glucose phosphorylation. So catalyzed by the glucokinases or the glucokinase. Now you have here, so this is the overall. Okay, that is reaction 1. Reaction 1, there is phosphorylation of this alpha D glucose is a this is also this metal will also participate in the in catalyzing the phosphorylation of glucose. Okay, so you have, as a result, you have now the glucose 6-phosphate. So where you find the phosphate is on the 6th carbon. Okay, there. Then reaction 2 is isomerization. The glucose 6-phosphate would just undergo isomerization by what? Isomerases. So this is participated by the enzyme phosphoglucoisomerase. When you say isomerization, ang ingunana, mahingunang anak. Ang ingunana, maanak ra. Oh? So that is isomerization. So ang glucose is converted into fructose. All are 6-carbon compounds that they are called hexoses. Oh, hexoses. They are made up of 6-carbon atoms. No, 6-carbon atoms. They are hexoses. So you just, there is just twisting a little of this glucose to become fructose through this enzyme called phosphoglucoisomerase. So as a result, from glucose 6-phosphate it becomes fructose 6-phosphate. So isomerization of glucose. Okay? So you have here. Now here there is another. So pila ang gidugang ATP? How many ATPs were added sa step 1? Reaction 1. Isa pa. Okay. So remember, ay duha. Yung kinahanglan, idugang. Okay. So step, okay, you have here the isomerization from glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate. Okay. Okay. So reaction 3, there is again phosphorylation of our hexose, fructose 6-phosphate. So the fructose 6-phosphate is now added with another ATP. So kung mudune o ihatag gani, we call this endergonic reaction. Step 1 and step 3 are called endergonic reaction. We say endergonic from the word endo, meaning energy is absorbed, meaning energy is used up. When we say exergonic from the word exo, energy is released, meaning ATP is formed. Okay, so you have here ATP is added. So that's why where is this phosphate of ATP be bonded? So it's on the first carbon. So you have here, this is the first carbon. So you have the phosphate. So you have another phosphate. That's why it's called fructose 1, meaning on the first carbon and on the 6th carbon of fructose. So that's why it's called bi, meaning there are 2 phosphates added, bonded on the first carbon and on the 6th carbon. Okay, so next. Now, so we have already expense of 2 ATP molecules. That is expense. Now, reaction 4 is cleavage of fructose 1,6-biphosphate to 2-triose phosphates. We say cleavage, cleave, separation, breaking of 2 molecules of 3-carbon compound. So we have glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So there is now splitting of the 6-carbon compound. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there are 6 carbon compounds. Now this time it is splitted into 2 molecules of 3-carbon compound. Are you with me? So one here we have the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. The other is dihydroxyacetone phosphate. However, this dihydroxyacetone phosphate can be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So there will be 2 molecules of this glyceraldehyde phosphate. This is a 3-carbon compound. So that's why duha ka arrows. So there are 2 arrows I placed. because ultimately the dihydroxyacetone phosphate will be converted into diglyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Meaning the phosphate is on the third group of carbon. So this one, phosphate, it's another phosphate. Okay. And that is participated by the enzyme aldolase.